from the Maitland Public Library, and today I'll be sharing with you our adult take and make craft for April 2021. So this month we're going to be making paper houseplants. If you're like me, I'm kind of obsessed with houseplants. I love having them all over my home, but they get pricey and sometimes I kill them. So these are some great, easy to make plants, and we'll provide all the supplies so you can make them and have some greenery around your house that hopefully you can keep alive for a couple months. All right, so let me show you what you'll get as well as what you'll need to bring from home, and then we'll take it from there. So these kits will be available at the Maitland Public Library to pick up starting April 1st. No joke. All right. So the kits contain 4 sheets of paper, and they're going to have on them printed this zigzag cactus to cut out, 1 sheet of cardstock, and 2 sheets of construction paper. And I'll show you what we do with each of these. You'll also get 1 clay pot. I'm providing one. There are 3 different plants here, so you'll want to work around some stuff you have at home to find the other pots. All right. So from home, you'll need a pencil, some markers or crayons and greens and yellows, whatever you have. If you don't have any, that's okay too. Some type of filler for your container. I like the look of black beans or any other beans or whatever you find in your cabinet. Rice works really well. I like the color of the beans better, but the rice actually holds really well, so that's great. Pair of scissors. I have a paper cup here. I use the paper cup to kind of make it so that I use less of my filler material. You could also stick whatever you have in there, whatever's in your kitchen, leftovers, junk mail, whatever. That way you can fill it up to about here and then only use a little bit of your rice or beans or whatever. All right. So for the other containers, as you can see here, I have just a random pot that was from a gift, another thing from a gift. Because we're not watering these, it doesn't matter if they have a hole in the bottom. In fact, if they do have a hole in the bottom, like this one, you want to put some cardstock or paper down to cover it so that our beans and rice don't fall out. But this will look really cute. You can even use an old cup or an old teacup. Or you could use like a bowl for like something like a cactus type planter look. Lots of options. And again, I'm going to give you the supplies for these plants, but after you make these, look around your house or look online, see what else spurs up some inspiration, and make a whole bunch of more. I know I'm going to. All right, we're going to start with this zigzag cactus. I think it's also been called like a fishbone cactus. And we're going to use these and cut these out. So you're going to cut out all 4 pages of these little pieces. You don't have to be exact. You're going to be flipping these over, so you're not going to see the lines. As you can see in this one, I'm not sure if the camera will show it, but I feel like a beauty blogger here. I kind of went outside the lines at times. We're going to flip it over so that we don't actually see the lines, so you can do whatever you want. Also, these kind of came to a point at the end. I found that a more rounded, larger ending was easier to put into my rice or my beans, so I would recommend cutting yours like that as well. So you see that basic shape? Didn't actually follow the lines very well, but it kind of gave me an idea. So I'm actually going to fold it like this and just kind of give it some shape a little bit, just so that it feels a little more natural. So then you're just going to take your container. Again, I've got the hole covered with paper here, a couple of sheets just so that it's thick. I'm going to take this cup, just cut it into like a little shape here. I'm actually going to put that in so it kind of makes a false bottom here. That way I don't have to use as much rice. Oh, y'all made a mess. You'll notice some of these I went ahead and put a line down the middle. That is something that's part of the usual zigzag cactus. You can try that if you like it, good if you don't. I can't decide if I like it or not. So first we'll stick them in around the edges of the dish or the pot. Kind of, you know, wherever. Again, we're mimicking nature, which isn't exact and isn't completely balanced. And for me, my plants in my house are lopsided, often based on where they go for the light. And then you'll just go a little further in. Throw them in there. And again, if you don't like it, take it up and do it again. There's no glue involved, so this is not permanent. Okay. Like I said, it works a little better when it's rounded like that. So there you go. Throw that up on a high shelf on a bookcase. I'm sure half of your visitors will think it's actually real. Next up, we're going to make this super simple cactus. I love how simple and understated this is and how easy it is to make. So you're going to take your piece of cardstock. You can make this any size. I think I'm going to make another smaller one to go with this guy. And so for this, you're just going to take and make this kind of shape. I can freehand it. What I want you to do is to go ahead and freehand something, cut it out, trace it, and then cut it out again. So I've cut that out. I'm going to trace it. And then cut it again. Now with this, all sides will be visible, so you want to make sure that you don't leave any of your tracing lines showing. Next, you're going to draw those little cactus spikes, thorns, can't remember what they're called. We're going to draw those on both sides of both pieces. I'm going to use a little green marker for this, but again, use what you have. This again, it's nature, so it's not exact, so don't feel like you have to make it perfect. Alright, so right now I have my 2 cactus pieces. You could actually do more than 2 if you wanted. You've got a whole sheet of construction tape, so use it as you wish. I've seen it where they've got multiples put in here. So one of these, I'm going to cut it halfway down to the middle. And the other one, I'm going to cut it halfway up to the middle so that they intersect. This is kind of your example here. Remember, measure twice, cut once. So I'm not going to go all the way, just in case. There you go. Yeah. I will say, I didn't say this in my instructions, but you may want to have a piece of tape at the bottom just to keep this straight. Feel free to grab a little piece of glue or tape if you need to keep them just right. But yeah, there you go. Perfect to go on your desk or something if you're like me and always forget to water your plants. This is our third plant. This is just an easy little leafy foliagey type thing. This one's a little fun. For this, you're going to take and you're going to cut out of your construction paper. I would say about 6, I only did 4, but 6 is better. Leaves around this shape. Again, honestly, at the bottom, you could just cut it straight because it's going to go into that fake soil, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go ahead and outline a general leaf shape here. You can make it as big or as small or as fat or as thin as you want. And don't forget, the Maitland Public Library Astronomy Week is back for 2021. We are going to be virtual this year, but we've got tons of great events, including we have a speaker from NASA coming to tell us about their experience. We've got a presentation about the solar system, as well as kids' activities. So check that out on our website, maitlandpubliclibrary.org. Those are all going to be taking place the week of the 11th through the 17th. So here's our leaf. Now with these, if you have available crayons, paints, pastels, markers, whatever you have, we're going to give these leaves some dimension. So for this leaf, I'm actually going to come in on the inside with some green, just to make it a little darker, deeper. And I'm going to come around the outside with some yellow, just to make it a little lighter up here on the tips. I feel like Bob Ross. I'm not even sure if the camera will pick it up, but just a little bit of something. And you can play around with your different shapes and see. This one I went all the way around with the yellow. This one I put more in the middle. And then you're going to give it a little fold. Right through here. Again, to give it some dimension, some realisticness. And then you're going to fold it back, kind of roll it in. Okay. Again, this is nature, so feel free to make these all different sizes. Once you've got about 6 leaves, we're going to go ahead and fill them in our container here. I like to start with the outsides, around the edges of the pot. So I've got 4 larger ones, but I'm just going to roll around here. And again, the trick with these, I think, is the further away you place them, the more realistic they will look, if that's what you're going for. So for me, if I put it up on a higher shelf, maybe on top of the refrigerator, no one's gonna look close enough to know. Of course, also, if you're doing this with a more stylized, approach and want it to look like paper flowers, then put it on your coffee table. All right. So there you go. The perfect water-free plant. Great if you travel a lot or are lazy like me, or just forget to water things sometimes. I hope you enjoyed this adult take and make craft. Packets will be available at the Maitland Public Library for curbside pickup as well as pickup inside starting April 1st, 2021, as supplies last. They are limited. We aren't reserving in advance, so please feel free to come in at your soonest convenience and pick one up. We look forward to seeing you.